This is a guide for the Halo 2 Anniversary mission Gravemind on Legendary. Begin the level, we will immediately move forward, quickly followed by reloading and then canceling our reload with a melee, while crouching behind this camera. Then, quickly needle down these honor guards and then move to their bodies to pick up their
Faster you
plasma
can kill those.
rifles. Note that the needler and plasma rifle rate of fire is quicker when spamming individual shots rather than continuous fire, making it much more efficient to quickly tap fire rather than continuously hold. After you've killed both honor guards, 4 grunts will spawn at each of these 4 doors. Simply kill all 4 grunts in a fluid motion as shown, briefly pausing fire between the 3rd and 4th grunts to not overheat your plasma rifles.
Demon has infiltrated
Once
the
you've killed all the
council
grunts,
chamber.
head to the center section here
Protect
and
the
dual wield
higher
this
ups.
needler.
Seal the exits.
Then make your way back to the camera you
Well, I
originally
don't
hit
think
at
so.
the start of the level. Once you're here, simply crouch and hold forward into the camera at this angle. You'll be sucked into the correct position needed to skip the next wave of enemies. When you've received your second checkpoint, add 8 seconds to the current IGT time. This is when you'll be able to leave the camera and prepare for your next clear. For this clear, you want to walk over to the side of this door so that it opens early. Then, prepare to spawn kill the grunt inside. Note that you need to wait to fire until the grunt has finished his alert animation. When you kill this grunt, turn around and fire a burst at the grunt across from you, then head to this pillar and begin reloading. Jump onto the pillar and fire the majority of your clip at the middle brute captain. When you near the end of your clip, or when you have taken too much damage, hop over to the stands on your left and focus the grunt on the right hand side. After your reload, jump back onto the structure and target whichever of the 2 brutes is an easier kill. Try to target the one that is more in the open. After you shot a burst of needles at that brute, quickly swap to the other brute and shoot a burst at him. By the time your needles are connecting, he should be standing still and raging, making him an easy target. It's very important that one enemy is left alive on this bottom floor. If they all die, we will not be able to skip a later wave of enemies. This last enemy does not need to be a grunt either, it's just preferred. The next 2 brutes have a total of 6 different spawn locations. They can spawn at any random combination of these 6 doors. Make your way over to this door, and then walk back and forth while checking your minimap to see if either of the 2 brutes spawned on your side. After seeing which spawns you get, you can then assess how to clear them. Now I'll show some footage of the trickier clears where both brutes spawn on your side. Once both brutes are dead, grab a carbine and make your way back to the camera from the start. When you kill this last enemy you left alive, you have a small amount of time to get to the spot on the camera. Make sure you are somewhat close to the camera before killing this enemy. Once you're in the spot, wait for the second checkpoint to tell you when you are clear to leave. If you do not receive a second checkpoint, Cortana talking is an indicator that you're clear to move.
Put me down on one of the pedestals near the door.
As you walk to the door, check for any plasmas on the floor. These will be important for the next section. This next section has a total of 7 enemies, 2 brutes and 5 grunts. Priority targets are the 2 brutes and the turret grunt at the top half of the room. Hop up onto the top right corner of this wall. While crouching to avoid being shot, kill the 2 brutes and the turret grunt. After you've killed those 3, hop down and finish the rest of the grunts off as you make your way up the room. Be sure to check for nades as you walk through. Grab this carbine ammo at the
Right
top of
this
the
way.
stairs, and then check behind you to make sure that no grunts have aggroed onto you so that you can acquire this next checkpoint. You must also make sure that you have shields before entering this next section. A plasma grenade is also needed for this honor guard, so make sure you have acquired one. If you did not find one, simply kill the honor guard with a needler using the door for cover. As the door opens, stick this honor guard, then move down and to the right and kill the jackal while making your way to this pillar. If you follow this pathing, it is very common for the brute to take this exact path around the pillar, making him a very easy stick with the plasma. If you don't have a plasma, simply carbine the brute while hiding behind the structure close to you. Sometimes, if you are slow to kill the brutes or get bad pathing, the honor guard will join the second brute's pack, causing him to not enrage. Just shoot the second brute if this happens. After you've killed the brute, walk along this edge and then jump on this ammo crate. Then, fall down to the section below, being sure to hit the corner of the sledge to avoid fall timer. Once you have landed, kill the 2 jackals and 1 grunt. Swap your needler for a beam rifle, and then melee the last grunt alive as you walk past so that he stops shooting at you. It's important to leave this grunt alive so that you can avoid getting more brute spawns ahead of you. But if you did not kill both brutes in the previous section and this grunt is going to kill you, you should go ahead and kill it. As you walk up to the next door, crouch at this corner and then wait for the jackals to pass by on your radar. You will know you are
Keeping up
good to
that
advance
patrol.
once this
Stay
door
sharp.
ahead of you fully shuts. When you enter this room, check for the brute pathing close to you. If he is there, backsmack him, and then move on to clearing the jackals. If he is far, like in this clip, beam rifle the visible jackals and then kill the brute once you can see him. Once there's 1 jackal left, the next wave of enemies will spawn and push into this room. Make your way to this corner and use it as cover while clearing this wave. Use your beam rifle to take the helmet off the first brute and then clear the rest of the wave with your carbine. The grunts in this next room will always spawn in a few different set locations. Check all of these spots and kill all of the grunts that have spawned there before moving on to killing the brutes. After you've killed the brutes and you move through this room, kill all the grunts and melee to delay a checkpoint between shots.
There's another lift in
Once
the
everything
next
is
room.
dead, wait here for a checkpoint. The next trick has 2 different variations with their own set of pros and cons. The one I recommend for new players will lose you about 20 seconds but is 100% consistent and is much easier than the other strategy. I will showcase this version first. Move into this room, kill this jackal, and head towards this entryway. Look at your minimap and watch for the brutes jumping into the lift. After they have jumped in, throw 2 plasma grenades and move into the room ahead. Look at your minimap to
Here,
see the
Chief,
brute
jump
captain
in.
moving down below and get ready to bait his melees with your beam rifle. Bait 1 melee close to the lift and then move between him and the lift and have him knock you in with the second melee. Now I will showcase the harder version of this trick. Move into this room, kill this jackal, pull out your beam rifle and get against this wall. Make sure to not expose too much of your body when doing this. Once the first brute hops into the lift, quickly shoot the other brute to stun him and advance forward. Bait this melee close to the lift, but be sure to leave enough room so that you can sit between him and the lift.
Here, Chief.
After he melees, wrap halfway around him, swap to carbine, and melee him once to stun him before he can melee again. Then, move in between him and the lift and have him knock you into it.
Jump in.
This method proves to be too difficult, you can try this instead for less consistency.
Here, Chief. Jump in.
Now that we are inside the lift, with the brute above us, we must butterfly out using this brute. But first, in order to do that, we must close the distance between us and the brute. To do this, we must first get in a crouch position and then let go of crouch and re-crouch shortly after. This is kind of hard to explain, but Cryphon has a good guide explaining how to close this distance. This guide will be linked below. It is a very quick watch. Wait for the loading done, and then you can continue. Once you are close to the brute, perform the butterfly by pressing melee and jump together, followed by reload repeatedly. Use the input viewer for reference. There will also be a Dubhzo handcam linked below.
There are 2 groups of Marines in this detention block. I'll zero their locations. You neutralize the guards. Quietly.
Before we cover the next section, I want to mention that there are 2 main strategies for the post-prison halls. One of these strategies adds a lot of risk and should only be done by experienced runners. We will first cover the safe strategies. Replace your beam rifle with the sword and then jump forwards right as you make it to this elite body in front of you. Cancel off the right elite and aim yourself so that you land near the second wall and can take cover afterwards.
The Marines are just inside. Careful of the guards.
If you turn this corner and there are no enemies, this means that you have skipped the previous trigger with your cancel. There will no longer be any enemies until you make it to the Jackal Sniper Fly. This is slightly slower, but it is very beneficial for consistency. If you round this corner and you do see 2 elites, move forward using the pillar and wall for cover, and then walk forward with your head down against this far wall. Once you are here, continue head glitching on this wall until all drones have made it into the room you are currently in. Use your radar to determine when this has happened.
Excellent. Truth is broadcasting on the move. It'll make it much easier to track.
This room will have 2 brutes in the middle of the hallway, one close and one far. Move forward and to the left as you enter the room and jump, and then attempt to hit a fly on the far brute, being sure to jump early after hitting it. If you missed a fly or struggle with flies in general, feel free to just walk up to the brute and cancel across the room like this. When you make it to this room, jump on the top right corner of this wall. Once you are up, jump in place and then fly to the far hunter. Make sure to jump during this fly so that you go over the wall ahead of you. Once you've made it to this door, walk outside and turn to the left, being sure to stay close to this wall. Once you've walked past this elevated bit on the floor, turn to the right and hold S against the wall slowly to creep up to the left until you can see the jackal in your sights. When you see the jackal, hit a fly and shoot to kill him while in the air. Be sure not to creep too far left or you will not redirect off the wall ahead of you. If you missed a shot on the jackal while in the air and do not kill him, simply land while holding crouch and looking down until you have made it past his line of sight. Once you have made it past, jump over this brute if he has spawned, turn and stick him with a plasma, and then proceed down the ramp once he is dead. Now I will show an example of the fast post-prison hall strats. Since this is not really recommended for new players, I'm not really going to dive into anything here.
Fear not, my brothers, the sacred icon is here.
The Marines are just inside.
It
Careful
was
of the guards.
Tartarus and his brutes who took the icon from the flood. For that they had our
Excellent. Truth is broadcasting on the move. It'll make him much easier to track.
After you take this lift, look on the left and right side to spot the jackal. If this jackal is pushed out, you need to kill him as soon as you peek over this ramp. In this case, he is not pushed out far enough and is turned around, so I can leave him alive. Jump up this wall and onto the scaffolding to the left. Be sure to hold crouch for both of these jumps. Hold crouch for this final jump and keep it held after you land. You will need to perform the next fly while crouched. Turn to the right and zoom in twice right as you are landing. Shoot the elite once to stun him, and then perform the fly while crouch is being held. Jump at the end of this fly to ensure you make it above this ledge.
I've got a fix on
As you make it up, throw a plasma at the edge of this roof here so that it lands directly in front of this elite.
truth just outside this tower, Chief.
Walk in a straight line, slightly to the right of these white lights on the floor. Zoom in twice and then line up a fly on the brutes across the lift. Once you make it to the top part of the elevated ramp, hit the fly.
There's an exit nearby. Hurry.
While in the air, headshot the brute you flew to twice and kill him. As you make it to the end of this fly, you can either jump or turn to the left to avoid being stuck in the elevator.
At this moment, the councillors
Move into this room, turn to the right, and shoot the back drone.
gather on here to see
Let this drone fly ahead of you and then butterfly off of him to move forward. This is done by spamming melee and then reload repeatedly.
the icons.
Once you make it to this turn, stop butterflying, crouch and move slightly forward and to the left, and then cancel off this drone while holding crouch. After you've hit the cancel, be sure to spam jump so that you keep your momentum.
The number of kill systems the Covenant are throwing down around. Not to worry, it's pretty slow.
If you got a slow drone cancel or are unlucky, this section will have 2 jackals along with the 2 brutes. This is due to too many enemies in the previous room dying. Simply beam the jackals and use your nades to help you adapt.
Sloppy stuff. I guess they never expected a hostile intelligence to penetrate their network from the inside. You wouldn't believe it.
If you encounter these jetpack elites before the drone cancel, it means that too many enemies in the previous lagfly section died before you spawned in the drones. To adapt to these spawns, simply get close to the door, lunge at the right jetpack elite, and then immediately turn to the left so that you are underneath the left jetpack elite. This will make him pause before shooting you, which should buy you enough time to walk to cover on the left.
Cast down the elites!
Not to worry.
There are those who
I
said
guess
this
they never
day would
expected
never
a hostile
come.
intelligence to penetrate their network
What a
from the
day.
If you don't get the extra jackals, clearing this hallway after drone cancel is as simple as double headshotting the first brute and then walking past the other brute or killing him. Once you've landed from the lift, pull out your sword, jump on this weapon box, replace the sword, and jump on the scaffolding.
I have
Once you make it to this second beam, jump over the wall ahead of you. Once you jump over, stand roughly in this spot and zoom in once looking towards the 2 grunt spawns. The 2 grunt spawns should be in these highlighted areas. Find one and hit the sword fly off of him. As you're making your way to the elevator, stop at this weapon crate to get a new beam and 2 plasmas.
Their armor to give you nothing for their lives.
Make your way into this door frame and position yourself on the left side. Once you're there, zoom in twice and hit the fly as soon as you see the brute. Once you're in the air, turn directly left so that you bounce off this brute. When you make it to this door, throw a plasma on the floor so that none of the brutes follow you through. Occasionally, a brute will block your path towards the door. If this happens, just jump over him. Throw a plasma where the jackal sniper is standing at the ledge. If the jackal pushes up the ramp, be sure to kill him before going for the fly. Fly off of any enemy in this area that you can get a red reticle on. Be sure to jump midway through this fly. Make sure if you did not kill the jackal to turn and shoot him now. If all the enemies to fly on are dead, you can take this alternate pathing instead. Walk forward so that the elite ahead spawns, then lunge at him. Be sure to spam jump so that you make it over the wall with the lunge. Kill the elite and any grunts on the way to the fuel rod, then swap out your beam rifle with the fuel rod. Turn to the left and fuel rod the elite above. Killing him will make the other elite path away from the door ahead. Once this door opens, fuel rod both jackals and the brute once. Switch to sword and lunge at the brute to finish him off.
We're going to catch Truth.
Shoot the wall behind the jackal to kill him and then move to where he was while reloading.
We'll need to take a shortcut straight through the mausoleum.
Wait on the right side until the elite ahead gets in the turret. After he gets in, move to the left and jump. Sword fly at the peak of this jump and then jump again after hitting it. You need to get enough height to skip the trigger ahead.
Look on the bright side. For
Shoot this
now,
weapon
they
box a
should
few
keep us
times to get it out of your way.
killing each other.
If you have no shields, wait on the right side of this room until they come back for a checkpoint. Now we will cover the in-room fight. I will start with a disclaimer that outside of a rough kill order, this fight will be different every time you do it. This means it needs a lot of practice to get used to the different scenarios you will be put in. This also means it's super helpful to watch other runners clear this room and learn small things that they may do differently. In the in-room, there are 3 elites, 3 brutes, as well as some RNG drone spawns that may or may not live that will need to die. The most important thing to know when it comes to the kill order is that the brutes must die last. The ideal kill order will be elites and then bug/hunters and then finally the brutes. If the brutes are not killed last, you will spawn an extra wave of brutes that must die before you're able to get to Cortana to speak and progress a level. When you enter this room, jump and look to the right and fly to the elite if he is there. Sometimes he paths in a way to where you will not be able to fly to him. If this happens, simply walk instead.
You might consider sitting down.
Once you have made it here, kill both of these elites with backsmacks. Try not to show yourself to the brutes when doing this because they will kill you very quickly. If the elite's back is not being shown, a good way to get an easy backsmack is to have your sword out and make them enraged, then swerve around them and backsmack them. When killing this last elite, it's very important that you make him enraged with the sword first. This will make him drop his fuel rod so that he doesn't death shot us. Move towards this back structure. While moving, kill any drones that are easy targets. When shooting the hunters, target the hunter further away. Let the brutes aggro onto the one that's up front. Kill the second hunter, and then finish off any brutes that are left alive. If you kill the far hunter and the brutes don't aggro onto the last one alive, you can very slightly peek the brutes and throw a plasma. You will either stick them or cause them to jump away, allowing you to move towards them without getting carbined. If you've done the clear correctly, you'll hear Cortana be placed onto the pedestal when you walk to the center structure in the room. Be sure to wait for her to speak before leaving this area.
Hang on. I'm picking up 2 more transmissions.
Once you hear Cortana
Commander
speak,
and
come to this door and walk into it with your head looking down.
They'll need your help. This way, Chief.
Use your radar to know where the elites will be standing so you can cancel off of them. Once you see the elite, quickly jump and then cancel immediately after. Make sure to wait for this alert animation to finish before going for the cancel. After you've hit the cancel, jump once to carry momentum and then sword fly off the honor guard in the middle. Once you get past this elite, the level will
I'm
end
getting
shortly
confirmed
after.
reports of
Hopefully this guide has helped any new Halo 2 speedrunners learn the level, or anyone who is shooting for the speedrun achievement on MCC. If there are any questions about the level, please let me know in the comments below and I'll be sure to answer them if I can. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to the HaloRuns.com community. If you're interested in learning any of the Halo game speedruns, please check out the Discord on their website. I will have that as well as 2 prison skip videos mentioned in the previous sections of this guide linked below. Thank you everyone for watching.